I was cheerfully unaware of anything going on in the world of Honey Boo Boo. And I've got two parts to this video. The first part makes me a little angry, but it's the second part that really pisses me off. A user by the name of official GATG, links down in the underbar to his videos, as well as links to his main research, which is part of what I'll be talking about today, will be down in the underbar. I absolutely recommend you subscribe to this individual. They Scout, as he tends to be called, or I think Scout Meister, one of those. He's very on the ball. I'm very impressed with the work that he does. Rarely do I find something that I actually disagree with him, because he seems really right on the money with most of what he says, and I highly respect his body of work. Plus, he's got more subscribers than me, so it's not like he really needs more, but hey, it can't hurt to do a little shout out. Now, GLAAD, the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, gave Honey Boo Boo an award because they featured one episode where they had Uncle Poodle. Uncle Poodle. And Uncle Poodle is gay. Honey Boo Boo has no problem with Uncle Poodle being gay. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but just like, official says, or Scout says here, well, many things that Scout says I'm going to try to repeat here to some degree. Uncle Poodle got infected by his boyfriend with either AIDS or HIV. So this is what Uncle Poodle is having to live with. Why? Absolutely. Why does he not have a show? Why does he not have a show? Why do we need Honey Boo Boo? What possible purpose does Honey Boo Boo have? But Uncle Poodle was infected by his boyfriend, who didn't tell, the boyfriend didn't tell Uncle Poodle that the boyfriend was infected. Can you kind of see now why I care about instituting mandatory, but at no cost to the person being tested, HIV, AIDS, and STD screenings? Because this is like, your right to infect somebody with an infectious disease ends at whatever part of their body might be about to come in contact with whatever part of your body that is capable of transmitting the disease. Now, if you absolutely don't know it, I can't exactly blame you for that, but there are some sadistic mofos out there who, just because they're infected and think, oh, woe is me, it's not fair, will go out and if they have to, they will rape people and give them AIDS. In fact, when I first became aware of male-on-male rape, because obviously I never knew such a thing existed, because society gives entirely two F's about male rape. But that's a whole nother topic. I found out because this guy, he gets invited to a hostel, and these people are so nice to him, they're so gracious, they even draw him a hot bath. He's in that bath not more than 5 minutes when somebody busts into the door, restrains him, rapes him. And then on top of the rape, which he had a hard time even getting people to listen to him. They're like, "You were what? Raped? But you're a man. Men don't get raped." Not only on top of that humiliation of enduring his rape, he finds out, oh yeah, I'm HIV positive now because my rapist was HIV positive. And my rapist knew he was HIV positive and didn't want to die alone. Yeah, lovely, isn't that? But why doesn't Uncle Poodle have his own show? But okay, so they do one episode and say, oh, well, we accept Uncle Poodle. They get a GLAAD award. Meanwhile, I'm busting my balls over here, as is Scout, about gay, lesbian, transgendered rights, what these things are, what they are not. I've been working in all sorts of communities to try to bring awareness and to try to bring an understanding and hopefully a closeness of people who aren't normally exposed to people who are gay or lesbian. Hell, I've talked about gay men who have come on to me, and I am as straight as an arrow, not that I think there's anything wrong with being gay, and I was flattered. I liked that somebody liked me, even if I couldn't return their affections, which wasn't a great feeling, but we were both adults. We could handle this. And where's my GLAAD award? Where's Scout's GLAAD award? Oh no, I know what it is in my case. It's because I've dared to also call out at times when some of the vocal minorities within the gay and lesbian communities have come to speak out with bigotry, I might add, against, of all things, bisexuals, who some think bisexuality doesn't exist. You know, just like how people outside their community think that gayness or lesbianness, those are the words I'm using, don't exist. And because I've called some of their community out on that bigotry, which is undue, by the way, it's not right no matter who does it. Just because it was done to you doesn't mean it's right that you do it to somebody else. Because that's just a vicious circle of hate. And it's equally based off of hearsay, conjecture, and nothing substantial. Like how lesbians at times, pockets of lesbian groups, will go after bisexuals because they consider bisexuals to be weekend lesbians. And that because those bisexuals have ever had contact in their life with a penis, they are dirty, probably infected. And they want nothing to do with these people, these women, because these women happen to have had contact with a penis in their life. Can you understand how absolutely ridiculous that is and how unneeded it is? So that's probably why my my GLAAD award hasn't come in the mail. Because I have the audacity to treat everybody equally and to call everybody out on their bullcrap when they try to pull this, but I'm the good guy. My bigotry is justified. No, it's not. But okay. So I think this is unwarranted, but let's face it, GLAAD has done a lot of questionable awards that really do more harm, I think, to the community than good. And no, I stand by that. One of these times, I'm going to do a video on them alone and all the mistakes that they've made, including this. But okay, moving from that, let me get to where I'm really angry, where I'm really just gets under my skin and I just want to rip my flesh off. Mama thinks Honey Boo Boo, aka Alana, is getting too skinny. Now, barring what the CDC said, and of course my fat acceptance stuff that I've talked about via the new data from the CDC, yes, it is possibly too skinny, but it's also possible to be a little too fat. But this isn't about whether Alana's becoming too fat for herself. I'm not a doctor, and if I'm going to advocate for fat acceptance, I can't be the kind of person to say, oh, I think that she's going to make Alana too fat. But is making somebody fatter something that is healthy? And it's not just that. It's that Mama has put into Honey Boo Boo's head that her fat is what makes the show. No fat, no show. What do you think that's doing to this woman's psyche, to this girl's psyche, excuse me? What do you think this is doing to her? What kind of effect do you think this is going to have on little Miss Honey Boo Boo when she grows up and she's not so cute anymore and she doesn't have a show and nobody cares that she exists? What do you think that's going to do to her? What do you think are the kind of links that she might go to, provided that she even lives that long? Because she's feeding, the mama's feeding Honey Boo Boo go-go juice, which is a mixture of Mountain Dew, which is bad enough as it is. I never drink the stuff, and I generally don't tend to let my son do the same. And Red Bull. To a child. And yes, I mean child in this case. Remember, I'm keeping my terms straight so we keep this discussion on track here. To a child. A growing child. I don't even let my son, 9 times out of 10, have any kind of soda, let alone one that's caffeinated, because I don't agree with it in terms of a growing child. But he's going into teenhood here soon enough. Yeah, I'm going to have to deal with a teen boy. I know how I was. And by then, he's still growing, but I don't think caffeine's going to be detrimental to him. His body can handle that. But here's my thing. Here's my thing that just punches me right in the emotional nuts, okay? Her mom is doing that to that girl. Never mind the whole pageant thing that I find personally creepy. And I don't understand why this stuff needs to exist. I get creeped out by the fact that they give the girls makeup, amongst other things, and make them look like little adults. I'm sorry. As much as I'm open-minded about the topics through research of things like pedophilia and all this other stuff, not open-minded to be a pedophile, because that's a sexuality, as you remember from my research, and I'm not one of those, though that wouldn't be a problem if I were. It would only be a problem if I were a pedophile and I were actually harming children. I'm not, and I'm not, so it's a moot point. But the thing is, even I get skeezed the hell out by these beauty pageants for kids. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I don't like the way that the parents are created. They have these kids and then they create this fantasy world of, you can be everything that I'm not, or that I failed to be because I decided, thanks to my absence on the education, to get pregnant very young on. And I decided to keep it, and then I decided that because it was a girl, I was going to pour all my hopes and dreams into this little girl and make her into the success that I was not. I'm going to live vicariously through her. It's not even just that. See, my son has encaprices, which is something that is a lot more normal than I ever imagined, as I found out through my son's pediatric proctologist and or internalists, endocrinologist, I think it's called. So, because of a genetic disease, or a genetic condition, something I had no control over, I had CPS called on me for possibly neglect of my child, possibly abuse of my child. By the way, I was cleared of all charges. I still have custody of my child. I still have housing of my child. I have not been reprimanded because there was nothing to those charges. And there's nothing bad that is happening to my son. The only times he's ever had anything bad happen to him was with his mom, and I'm not getting into that whole kit and caboodle all over again. CPS, in other words, though, CPS is on my doorstep, or has been on my doorstep. This woman's on national TV, clearly endangering the life and health of her child, and I have not heard thing one from CPS on this. Right. It's because I don't have a show. If I had a show, I could practically molest my child and it would be perfectly A-okay, wouldn't it? Well, except for it wouldn't, because that's where we draw the line, right? Mama can endanger Honey Boo Boo's life, but if she touches her inappropriately, if we are willing to believe that, because remember that pedophilia is supposedly a male-only problem, not a female problem, then we would step in. Then CPS might do something to stop this. But no, she can do whatever the hell she wants to Honey Boo Boo, a.k.a. Alana, including making this woman a miserable, depressed wreck. And it's okay. But me, a single parent who, if Mitt Romney is to believe, I and my cohorts as single parents are the reason that we need stricter gun control, which... yeah, dang, I keep getting those itches. Anyways, good parents like myself are being hassled, whereas this whole situation with Honey Boo Boo is a collective slap in all of us responsible parents who are being hassled by CPS straight in the face. They're at our doorsteps instead of at Honey Boo Boo's doorsteps. How does this make any sense? You have no idea how absolutely furious I am. Links are down in the underbar to all prevalent information.